What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikaPikaPaPa, and I'm so excited to bring this video and this data set to you all because there's a lot of really cool stuff happening in the Sword and Shield space right now. So if you've never seen the channel before, here's what we do. Every single month, we look at Sword and Shield, we look at Sun and Moon, we look at XY, we look at Scarlet and Violet now, and we look at how different products within those eras have performed. Specifically, we look at the top 20 cards from all the regular sets, we look at booster boxes, we look at Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs were applicable. We look at regular ETBs, and we chart how they perform month over month. And the reason behind that is because, listen, I work hard for my Poké Dollars, and I know that you do too. And I want to make sure that whenever we spend our money, we feel really good about it. At least we walk into it with the most up-to-date information that we possibly can. And Pokemarkets move quickly. They can drop quickly, they can rise quickly, and I really want people to have their finger on the pulse of what's going on out there because, you know, hey, listen, more information can only lead to better buying and selling decisions. So that's why I do this video. That's why I do all this data dives. That's why I warehouse all of this. I want you all playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. And as you all know, we've been trying to put lipstick on a pig here for a couple months, right? Like, unless you've been hiding under a Poké Rock, we all know that the Pokemon market has been coming down a bit. And one of the reasons I'm so excited about this video is because Sword and Shield had a really good month. Now, it is too early for me to plant my flag in the sand and just say, hey, listen, the market's turning around. Don't worry, we got nothing but blue skies and rainbows ahead of us. You know, it's been the holiday season, so I'm sure there's a lot of buying and selling that's going on, which of course is influencing some of these prices. But as you'll see when we get into the video, like, this isn't just concentrated to the most popular cards, like the top 3, top 5 cards. We're seeing really strong price movement in a lot of sets from top to bottom. So that's why I'm so excited. Now, let's get into some of the details and why I'm so excited. Now, remember, we've been doing this for a while, so I went back from September to October, and this is the trend that I want all of us to look at and to kind of focus on. And when I'm talking about could the market start to be swinging in the right way, this is what gives me the confidence to say, you know, it might be. I'll never say it is. I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know what the future holds, but I'm excited to see this trend. So when you look at the top 20 cards in their total value, right, I have their total value for September, October, November, December. You'll see from September to October, the total value dropped 6%. Okay, so we all know Sword and Shield cards were coming down September to October. Then October to November, it still dropped, but it only dropped 4%, right? So instead of 6%, it dropped 4%. So still coming down, right? But the rate of depreciation was less. Then from November to December, we finally have some green. I'm so excited. So the top 20 cards in the regular sets from the Sword and Shield era from November to December actually went up a combined $59. So plus 1%. You might be saying $59 across 12 sets, top 20 cards. That's 240 cards, right? It's only up $59. I don't freaking care. Up is up. In a sea of red to see a little bit of green, it is incredibly exciting, especially when you look at that trend, right? From -6 to -4 to +1. Like, that is a positive trend, right? That's a great swing. So I'm really excited to see that. Now, booster boxes, we all know sealed product is more stable than singles, right? Singles can be much more volatile. So when we looked at the price movements over the same period of time, from September to October, it was down 2%, right? Then from October to November, it was down another 2%, which was really interesting, right? We think of, you know, sealed product being really, really stable, but we also know that we just got off the tail end of a period where everything was getting crazy in prices. Like the prices were sky high. So to see them come down a little bit, you know, isn't too disheartening to me. But then from November to December, it's only down $9, right? It's down negative 0.4%. So from negative 2% to basically flat. Again, it just shows that maybe the things are turning in the right direction, and it is an absolute great trend line. Now, let's get into all these sets, but before I do, I always got to say this because I'm a small channel and I'm trying to grow this thing is, hey, if you find value in this and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe button. If you like this stuff, we do it all the time. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. Questions or comments, drop them down below. Those 3 small things go a long way in helping my small channel out. Really lets me know you appreciate the work that I put in. So, with that being said, we're going to start off with Silver Tempest and Lost Origin. Now, these ones are down. The top 20 cards are actually down month over month. You'll see Silver Tempest there at the bottom, month over month gain / loss in yellow. The top 20 cards are actually down 1% in Silver Tempest, and Lost Origin is down 4%. But remember what we said, we were watching the trend from the 3 months, like overall. Last month, Silver Tempest was down 13% month over month. Last month, Lost Origin was down 8% month over month. So yes, they're still down, but again, they seem to be trending in the right direction. It seems to be getting, you know, getting some positive momentum. And one of the things that's really exciting to me about Silver Tempest, again, remember, Silver Tempest is still relatively new, right? Like it was the very last, you know, regular set that was released in Sword and Shield, right? Just like Lost Origin. I mean, Lost Origin still, in the grand scheme of things, is relatively new. So a lot of these singles, you know, go through that normal Pokemon pop and flop. Most singles, you know, they really do. After they come out, it drops for the first 12, 16, 18 months. Like, I always encourage people, if there's a card you really want, don't go out and buy it as soon as the set comes out. Just wait. It's going to come down in price. But what's really exciting for me is look at the Lugia. So the Lugia, you know, we do a bunch of data trend videos on this channel, and, you know, we do the top 10 cards that exchange hands the most on TCG Player. We do that every month, and the Lugia is almost always on there. So we know the market loves it. We know people have been buying and selling it. So to see it finally, for the first time ever, make an upturn month over month is really exciting. I always love it when I see chase cards, you know, making a big move for a set. But then, you know, opposite, you have the Lost Origin, you have the Giratina, and the Giratina is actually down 7%. Now, I will say this, when you look at the starting price, right? That Lugia is at 130 bucks. You know, the Giratina's at 235. You all know that I'm really apprehensive. Like, I don't like spending big money on ultra modern Pokemon cards right now. I think the market's a little too frothy for a lot of these. So I'm personally holding off on it as much as I love that card. So anyways, Lost Origin booster boxes, on the other hand, are actually up 3% month over month. Now, I think Lost Origin is going to be a fantastic set in the Sword and Shield era. I think it's definitely going to finish in the top 4, if not the top 3, for the most valuable booster boxes or sets overall in Sword and Shield. So super excited to see that come up a little bit. And again, when I look at Silver Tempest, okay, so the cards, the top 20 cards are starting to normalize a little bit, again, from negative 13% to negative 1%, and the booster boxes actually come down a little bit. Now, I know, you know, if you want to buy it now on eBay, you're going to pay a little bit of a premium, but I went and I validated this data, and auctions are going for like $110, $105 on eBay if you have the patience and the wherewithal to actually do the auction. So Silver Tempest, I think, might be an interesting opportunity with the booster box coming down and the single prices starting to normalize a bit. I think it's something that's worth looking at. But overall, excited to see these cards, excited to see the top 20 prices, even though they're down, start to kind of constrict a little bit and get closer and closer to flat to positive. Now, coming with the next group right here, Astro, Radiance, and Brilliant Stars. Listen, I'm not going to double click into Brilliant Stars too much. I did a whole video on it on Friday. I'll link that video at the end because Brilliant Stars is incredible. I'm super excited. Brilliant Stars, a lot of us think, again, it's going to end up in one of the top 3 sets from the Sword and Shield era. So to see all that green is amazing. And also, this is the start of a green wave really from here until the end of the Sword and Shield era. It's incredible to look at all these sets and the top 20 card movement. So stick around. It's going to get really fun here for a bit. So as I said, Brilliant Stars had an incredibly strong month. You see the Chase Charizard, you see the Rainbow Charizard, big gains right there. But then when you look at Astro Radiance, right, Astro Radiance booster boxes are way down. When I saw $103.68 from Polkadata.io, which is where I pulled this data from, I thought there's no way that can be true. But I went on eBay, and I was looking at it, and I've seen sub $100 Astro Radiance booster boxes being completed over the last month. And I mean, again, they're auctions. You know, the buy it nows are going for like 125, 128 bucks, but the auctions are right around $100. And when you look, the top 20 cards is actually up 1% month over month. So I mean, if you can get an Astro Radiance booster box in the low 100s when the single cards are starting to make a turn again, it might be an awesome opportunity to get in on this. I mean, last month Astro Radiance was negative 6% in the top 20 cards month over month. Last month Brilliant Stars was negative 8% in the top 20 cards month over month, and now they're both in the green, and Brilliant Stars is way in the green. So again, really interesting to see this overall trend that's been going on month over month. So Astro Radiance booster boxes, I know I need a couple for the PC. I am hunting hard on eBay. I'm looking for ones that are about to end soon, seeing if I can't go in and snipe 1 or 2 for a great price. But even at the buy it now price of 120 bucks, I think it is still a pretty freaking good buy. Think about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, Astro Radiance booster boxes at 120 bucks, I think is going to be a really good investment. So love to see the movement here. And now we're getting into the next 2 right here. Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies. Another set that I am borderline obsessed with is Fusion Strike. I love Gengar. I love Fusion Strike. Really interesting to see the Gengar up 10% month over month. You know, that's another one. We talk a lot about support lines here on this channel, right? Like when a card reaches a certain price point that's so low, the market goes, listen, that's too low. Everybody piles in and we see the price start to come up, right? We've seen it with the Umbreon, right? Now you see the Umbreon from Evolving Skies, obviously that's a big chase card right there, but we saw that card get into like the $490, $485 range, and as soon as it broke that 500 barrier, everybody was buying it, so it shot right back up to 540 bucks. Now it's back down to 525, so you might see a kind of seesaw here for a little bit as the market says, okay, 550 is too much, but 490 is too low. So it's interesting to see these support lines coming up, and I feel like the support line for that Gengar is right at $200. Again, as much as I love the card, I'm not jumping in, I'm not spending 200 bucks on an ultra modern singles card, but it is interesting to see where the market values this. And again, look at the booster box price for Fusion Strike, up 9%. It is absolutely insane. And again, we're seeing the same trend, right? Fusion Strike 2 months ago was at -8% month over month. Last month it was -1% month over month. Now it's up 4% month over month. It is just, I'm going to continue to talk about it the entire video because we have to keep that top of mind. So many of these sets are starting to see that trend where they were negative, less negative, and then positive. That is really exciting for the overall health of the Poké market right now. Now, listen, I'm telling you right now, we look at this too at the bottom. So if you see in yellow, it says average versus booster box price. Well, that's where we take the average price of the top 20 cards and we compare it to the booster box price. We've done a ton of data dives on the channel. We've done a ton of research, and the higher the ratio, usually that means, or it's an indicator that the booster boxes might go up in price, right? Because if you have $10,000 worth of cards in there and the booster boxes are only 100 bucks, people are going to buy booster boxes all day long because the value of the cards that are in the booster boxes, is disproportionate to the price of the booster box. So we keep an eye on this ratio because a lot of times that can tell us, hey, listen, the singles cards are super high, the booster box is super low. It's a time to get in on the booster box because the market is going to realize it and people are going to start buying it. So I say all of that because Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies, even as high as the booster box prices in Evolving Skies, they rank number 2 and number 3 out of the entire Sword and Shield era in terms of this value metric that we use. So it is really, really exciting. I am all in on Fusion Strike. I've got my Evolving Skies booster boxes. I don't need any more, but Fusion Strike is something that I could simply see picking up a couple more of here as time goes on. Now, getting into Chilling Reign. Speaking about picking up more of, Chilling Reign to me is a sleeping freaking giant. I have said it before. I don't know where it's going to end up, but for me, it's fascinating. The set is over 2.5 years old at this point, and 12 of the 20 cards are over $20. Now, for me, when we talk about the Pokemon pop and flop, I said it earlier, singles cards come down for 12, 16, 18, heck, let's say 24 months, right? These cards are still over $20, and it's 2.5 years old. It is absolutely crazy, right? I talked about that average to booster box price ratio. Chilling Reign is number 1 by a mile. It's not even close. That average to booster box price ratio is at 27.6, and that's because booster boxes are sub $150, and there's so much value in there. I love the fact that the chase card is still up at $160 despite the age of the set. I like a lot about Chilling Reign, and I truly think that it's flying under the radar right now. And again, everything Chilling Reign is sold out on Pokemon Center. Now, I know Pokemon Center isn't the end-all, be-all. Not everybody in the world has access to it, but it is a pretty good barometer of price changes here, at least in the US, right? When we see things go out of stock on the Pokemon Center, that's when we generally start to see prices on the secondary market go up, because now the only way to get it is through eBay or your local card shop or whatever. So it's interesting to say all of that is out. Now, I will say this, Battle Styles, don't sleep on Battle Styles. Battle Styles is something I've been talking about a lot as of late, simply due to the age of the set. And it's interesting to see that Tyranitar chase card, right? Popping up 10% month over month. Booster boxes are up 7% month over month. And the overall top 20 is up 1% month over month. So anyways, Battle Styles, don't sleep on it, right? Battle Styles has got a little kick in the pants. So we shall see. Any of these older booster boxes that you can get in the $100, $110, $120 range, I still think are really solid long-term investments. Yes, the production numbers are different now versus the Sun and Moon era, but I also think we have a lot more collectors now and a lot more future collectors in this awesome space that we call Pokemon collecting. So anyways, booster boxes in the $100 range are absolutely Looney Tunes in my mind. So excited to see Battle Styles doing well from a booster box and from a chase card perspective. Now, coming up here, we got Vivid Voltage and Darkness Ablaze. Look at Darkness Ablaze. What is going on here? Every single top 20 card in Darkness Ablaze is up. Even that freaking Charizard is up to almost $30, which is absolutely crazy. This has the highest rate of return, month over month, up 13%. That's the highest out of all of the sets. And it's just really cool to see. Darkness Ablaze certainly isn't a huge set. It's not an overly exciting set by any stretch of the imagination. But for whatever reason, the price of all of the the top 20 singles in Darkness Ablaze is up, and we have never seen that again. Now, the other thing too is Vivid Voltage, right? There's no Pokemon Center exclusive ETB in Vivid Voltage, but interestingly enough, you know, the regular ETB has been up. Now, modestly, only up a couple percentage points, but last month to this month, it's up 13%, but the ETB has been up 3 months in a row. So again, some of these ETBs, are they gonna make you rich? Is it gonna put your kid through college? Absolutely not. But if you picked up a Vivid Voltage ETB for $25 or $28, or they got crazy low there at one point because everybody knows Vivid Voltage was printing into the ground, right? Like, but if you picked it up, you'd see some modest gains now. And again, think about it, 5 years from now, is it gonna be a $60 box? I don't know, but it certainly could be. When you look at Crimson Invasion, that's a $60 box. So, you know, kind of the same thing, something to compare it to, but I thought that was a really interesting call out. And again, age is going to play a factor at some point. You know, these are getting really old. They're becoming harder and harder to find. Both of these were negative 7% last month from a top 20 pricing perspective. And both of them have seen modest to extreme gains, right? Vivid Voltage up 2% and Darkness Ablaze up 13%. Just absolutely crazy. I can't get over the Darkness Ablaze, honestly. Absolutely crazy numbers. Now, on the other side of the coin, you got Rebel Trash. I hate it when I do that with the names. It's Rebel Clash. Like, good for you, Rebel Clash. But bad for you month over month. Every single card in the top 20 is down. Overall down 8%. This is the first time we've ever seen it out of the whole history of us doing this video on the channel. First time we've ever seen all top 20 cards down. And so a huge loss there for negative 8% in top 20 cards month over month. But the interesting thing is, look, all the sealed product is up. The ETB is up. The booster packs are up. You know, the booster box is up. So what the heck is going on with Rebel Clash? I don't know. But again, sometimes there's just an age factor, right? Like, hey, everybody knows Sword and Shield is sunsetting. Obviously, we're 1 year into Scarlet and Violet. So some of these earlier Sword and Shield booster boxes, people might be saying, hey, this could be the last chance for me to get in. And they're just simply buying them for a sealed collection. I know I'm trying to finish off, you know, all of my Sword and Shield era sealed booster box collection, and Rebel Clash and Sword and Shield are actually two I don't have yet. So I am all after those. Now, the other thing that I was going to say here is Sword and Shield is still in the red. But again, this is another one where we look at the top 20 cards and we're starting to see the rate of decline depreciate, right? So it was negative 11% a couple months ago, negative 9% last month. Now it is only negative 1%. So we've seen that big Marnie card, which was the chase card there in Sword and Shield. We've seen that one come down significantly. Now, is it time for Sword and Shield singles to make a turn? I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of regular base sets, to be honest with you. I'm not a big fan of Scarlet and Violet or Sun and Moon or Sword and Shield. So I don't know if this has the opportunity to do what we've seen in some of these other sets, right? Where we've seen a whole bunch of them just randomly pop green. But it is something to keep an eye on, and certainly the rate of depreciation is there, right? From a negative 11 to negative 9 to negative 1%. It sure looks like it's at least slowing down. So maybe we'll see some modest gains coming in the future months. Now, what I always do here, I summarize everything because we talk about a lot of stuff and I speak ridiculously fast. But to sum it all up, listen, 8 of the 12 sets saw their top 20 cards go up in price month over month. Last month when we did this video, there was one, and it was Evolving Skies, and it was up 0.3%. Like, we saw big gains in a lot of sets. 8 of the 12 are up from the top 20 singles cards month over month. It's amazing, right? Like, it was a great month for Sword and Shield singles. Now, does that mean it's going to continue? I don't know. Are the winds of change upon us? Who knows? My crystal ball isn't working. All I'm going to say is that from November to December, we saw a whole bunch of really awesome, exciting stuff going on in the Sword and Shield block. Now, when we look at booster boxes, 7 of the 12 booster boxes were up month over month versus last month where only 5 of the booster boxes were up month over month. Again, for me, I am looking at some of these earlier Sword and Shield booster boxes that are still available in the $100 range. Heck, even Silver Tempest in the $100 range, I think, is a really awesome pickup. So I think there's still some opportunity to get in on some awesome products here in the Sword and Shield era, even though 7 of the 12 booster boxes are up. And then 11 of the 12 ETBs were up month over month. Now, a lot of these are readily available. You know, they're all over the place, but still, up is up. Now, for ETBs, I'll tell you about regular ETBs. And my opinion on this is it all depends on where you purchase them at, right? Like, purchase price is one of the main drivers of ROI. So if you want to be an ETB collector, you know, I have tons of ETBs sitting behind me right now. I love Pokemon Center ETBs is where my heart is. I am all in on Pokemon Center ETBs. All the new sets that come out, I get multiple cases of them. I think that those are, you know, great long-term buy and hold investments. But regular ETBs are a ton of fun to buy and hold too. And again, who knows what the future is going to hold for them, but I do think that if you get in at the right price, you have an opportunity to get some good gains in there as well. And again, 11 of the 12 ETBs are up month over month. Now, 19 of the 36 top 3 cards were up last month, right? There's 12 sets. There's 3 top cards from every single set. So 12 times 3 is 36. Only 19 of the 36 top 3 cards were up. I always call that metric out because I'm looking for strength in the top. I want to see people chasing those big chase cards. I want to see people spending spending the bigger money on these cards. But again, why am I so positive about that? Last month, only 5 of them were up. Only 5 of the top 36 cards were up month over month last month. Now we have 19 of them. So I am really excited about that. And as I've said before, are the winds of change upon us? Who the heck knows? I don't know. You don't know. Your favorite PokeTuber doesn't know. But the reason this channel exists, the reason that we do these data dives, the reason that I keep all of this information for you and present it every single month is so you can keep the finger on the pulse of what's going on in the hobby, so you can feel really good when you spend your Poke dollars, because I want you playing chess when everybody else plays checkers. So if all that sounds exciting to you and you haven't hit the subscribe button yet and you've made it to the end, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. I appreciate you. You have an epic one, and I'll be talking to you soon. See you, everybody.